We know ERP transformations are painful. Sometimes they're really painful. We've done the research and the concerns seem well-founded. More than 90% of the projects we looked at, and we looked at hundreds of them, overrun on time. More than 2/3 are substantially above the initial budget, and 1/6 end up 400% or more above budget. And in all of that, less than half of the companies we have looked at realize efficiencies that can justify more than 50% of the project costs. With ERPs being such a central part of most companies' backbone, these are not great numbers. But it doesn't have to be that way, and right now is a good time to start rethinking the whole notion of ERP and how a new core system can enable the kind of business model, process transformation that really move the needle for a business that has to change to stay ahead. And as we start to look beyond the COVID-19 crisis, we see an increased interest in rethinking ERP modernization for value and speed. Companies have seen weaknesses in their business models, their operating models, and this has given many of them an opportunity to reconsider what an ERP transformation can do for them and not just to them. Let me start at the beginning here. Why do companies invest in ERP systems? Beyond the need to consolidate fragmented technology landscapes, it's often because they want to improve their operating models and processes. Operating models and processes that have become fragmented or outdated over the last 2 decades, and that is laudable. Improving processes to drive growth and margins is great. But unless you're focusing on these positive outcomes, there is a risk that the different bits of your organization are merely improving their individual processes, but that the overall process landscape is just as disjointed and inefficient as it was before. This happened to a company I know. It's a large company with 30 subsidiaries, each running a separate finance department. As part of a larger project, the company paid about $20 million to give each subsidiary a significantly better set of finance processes in line with their needs. So at the end of it, the company was running 30 really good, but subtly different sets of finance processes. And when the CEO said, all right, let's move now to shared services center for finance, one answer was, well, we can't actually do that. And they had to spend another 10 million rebuilding the system. They had to wait almost a year to implement the shared services strategy, which slowed down the overall strategy implementation. And clearly that did not deliver against the potential of that project. Now, if you get into this type of situation, you just spend $10 million, $20 million, $200 million on doing this. And the ROI is, well, there is no ROI. Would you invest that money in any other project, I mean literally anything else, without a hope of a positive long-term return? My bet is no, you wouldn't. But it doesn't have to be that way. And it all starts with a very simple question, which is why? Why are we doing this? What's the change we want to drive? Do we want to change our business model, our operating model? Do we want to take out costs? If the CEO of the company with those 30 subsidiaries had said at the start, I'm going to want to move to a shared services model for finance, then a lot of pain, a lot more money could have been saved. So overall, we believe that if ERP projects are run as business transformations rather than simply as implementation projects, they can deliver up to 5 times the value creation. And again, we've done the research, hundreds of projects. It's clear, the recipe is at hand. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by running an ERP as a business transformation? Let me give you some examples. First of all, start by understanding the value you can enable in your business before you get into the technical solution. Take the time to do this properly. What's the full potential case? What are the real value levers that you have to deliver against? For instance, and we see this a lot, if you're a CPG company, enabling more e-commerce may be the single biggest driver of future profits. And that's going to require you to rethink your business architecture before you get into the technical solution and the capabilities you will need to benefit from it. And by the way, you're in a hurry. Second, change the way you set up the program team and your governance. Make sure that business and IT are clear about their roles and objectives and that they're collectively responsible for the outcomes. And don't put in place a classic PMO here. Give your transformation management office real teeth. Give them real teeth to drive your internal team and your external partners towards outcomes rather than ticking off technical deliverables on timelines. Here's the difference. A PMO asks, are we on track? And a TMO team asks, what can we do now to get the full potential? And finally, make the technology choices and delivery models serve your business objectives. That will help you be clear about the scope and clear about the true cost-benefit picture, which informs a more modular, better sequence roadmap. That's going to take down your costs, it's going to take down your timelines and your risks. and it helps you start delivering value earlier. For instance, if you see that procurement efficiencies, and by the way, we see this a lot, are a big source of value in your project, front-load procurement on your roadmap rather than wait for it to be part of a big go-live a year or two later. Here's what these things have in common. These principles highlight that ERP transformations are not principally about technology. They're about how technology can help you deliver business results faster and better. So the business has to be clear about where it wants to be in 3 to 5 years and what the value is going to be of getting there. The IT team, your external tech partners have to own the art of the possible here. They have to inspire and challenge, not just delivering to stated requirements, but helping the business understand what technology can do to unlock value. And these principles also tell us, importantly, that this is not a single event. It's a transformation process that has to be managed actively until the change has taken place and until your new efficiencies are in the bank. In all this simple question, how do you start? Well, we think you're ready when you can answer 3 questions clearly. 1. What business changes can we realize with the help of this project, and how do we measure impact over time? 2. Does everybody, and by that I mean the business side, your internal IT team, as well as your external partners, understand their role in delivering that impact and what they have to do within that plan? In short, what's a business transformation plan, not just a tech delivery roadmap? And finally, do we have all the necessary elements of governance, transformation organization, internal capabilities and external partnerships in place to make this a success from the start? Now we're seeing real energy, we're seeing some great results at companies that make best use of the ERP transformation opportunity. And that's particularly true when business and IT teams put their heads together to rethink and change the business with the help of technology. If you are among the companies embarking on a journey like this, we encourage you to take the time, bring the business and IT teams together to really think about how to maximize the ROI, the value to your organization of the journey that you're embarking on.